What's up, lords and ladies of Westeros, and welcome back to AMC. Today I wanted to give you a status update on the channel, talk about the direction that I plan on taking things, as well as answer the number one question that I've gotten since I started making these videos, and that is, how did I get the channel started and how much money have I put into it? Seeing as how this video didn't really fit into any of the predefined series that I had already laid out, I decided to create a new series that I'm going to call Hear Me Roar. In this series, I'm going to offer my own personal opinions, thoughts about the meta. I'll do reaction videos to major Thrones-related news, such as today's new tournament rules that came out, which I have some very strong opinions to, as well as the $50,000 cash prize Penn and Teller nonsense that came out today, but we can talk about that later. I also want to use this series to make announcements about the channel, let you know what's up and coming, as well as to just promote upcoming tournaments for local metas so people can see what's going on. But before we get into that, I want to take a minute to thank a few people that have been really instrumental in helping me get the channel off the ground, so I'll hope you'll indulge me for a few minutes, because without them, none of this would be possible. First and foremost, I have to thank Mike Lamazek. He is responsible for the entire look and feel of the channel. Not only did he do all the art for the YouTube channel itself, but he created the look and feel for each of the individual series. And I think we can all agree that everything that he's done has come out amazing. A list of some of the things that he's done: he's created the opening card for each series, the title card for each series, all of my transition screens, the credits screen, the thumbnails, the banners on YouTube, and a few other things that I can't tell you about yet, but I think you're going to be really excited to see when they come out. Not only did he do all this stuff that came out great, he did it for free. So guys, if you like the way the channel looks and you're enjoying the art and the high quality that's gone into it, if you see this guy at a tournament, let's make sure he never has to buy himself a beer ever again. Coincidentally, he also won the New York City Store Championship a few weeks ago, so congratulations, buddy. Well deserved. The channel wouldn't be the same without you. His meta has also put out a few videos of their own. I'm going to link it in the description below so you can check that out. They're really well done, really high quality, and I think you guys, if you enjoy the content that I'm putting out here, you'll also enjoy what he's doing. Secondly, I need to thank Lauren and Cesar Rosario. Cesar is very, very experienced in camera and video equipment, and he's the one that gave me the recommendations for all the equipment that I'm using on the channel, from the lighting, the microphones, and stuff like that. I would have no idea where to start looking for things without his help. And Lauren did some initial work on the art design for the channel, as well as actually naming the series jousting contest. Thirdly, I need to thank the other two guys behind the scenes that are helping me with analysis and figuring out how to run the channel, and that is Adam Serbone and Britt Fitch. So thank you guys so much for putting up with me pestering you for your thoughts and suggestions. They helped me with card reviews, giving me their opinions on strategy, concepts, tips, things like that. So when the card review videos eventually start coming out, yes, the words will be coming out of my mouth, but they will be a mashup of all three of our opinions. You guys have been instrumental in helping me. Thank you so much. And finally, I want to thank you for watching and subscribing. I can't tell you how much fun I'm having doing this. It's been a blast so far. Your support and appreciation means everything to me. The next thing that I wanted to mention is that the New York City Meta is going to be hosting an amazing tournament on April 30th at the Complete Strategist in Manhattan. I think it's on 33rd Street. Awesome shop. They're calling it the Dance with Dragons, and I really think this is going to be the greatest tournament that they have ever put on. They always do a great job. They always have great raffle prizes, great alternate art cards. This time they're giving out an alternate art version that they had commissioned specifically for this tournament. The alternate art is the plot Confiscation. They gave me a sneak peek at what they're doing this afternoon, and I have to say, it might be the greatest single piece of art for a card I've ever seen in my entire life. It's incredible, very thematic, and I think you guys are going to love it. Well worth the trip. They have people that are willing to host if you want to travel to come out. I highly recommend their tournaments. I can't say enough about it. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be there covering it for the channel. Once again, that is the Dance with Dragons tournament in downtown Manhattan at the Complete Strategist, April 30th. Come get your amazing alt art Confiscation. If you don't come, you're gonna regret it. Now that I've got all that nonsense out of the way, let's get to the meat of this video, and that is the answer to the question, how did I start this channel? What did I have to do to get it off the ground? And how much money did it cost? The first thing that you have to do when starting a channel is make a decision. Essentially, you have three options, but you really need to decide what kind of channel and what kind of videos you want. Your first option is you just want to make videos in front of your computer. you want to capture footage on Octagon of gameplay, and you want to publish it onto YouTube. Doing that is a very simple thing. You don't have to leave the house. It's a little bit cheaper to do that, but the production value is going to be a little bit lower than your other option. Your second option is if you want to capture live gameplay footage at actual tournaments. It's going to be a little more complicated, a little more expensive. You're going to have to get an actual camera, not just a webcam. And there's a few other considerations that you're going to have to make. But whichever option you choose, whether it's 1, 2, or a combination of the both, there's certain different equipment you're going to need for one option versus the other. But there's also some things that you're going to need no matter which option you choose. And that's what I want to talk about right now. For me personally, because during the testing process and the research process, I was having so much fun, so I decided to go with option 3, which is right out of the box. I wanted to get webcam videos. I wanted to do videos like this in front of my computer, but I also wanted to do videos like the jousting contest series like I've been putting up all week. So let's take a second to discuss each option in depth, the equipment that you'll need for each option, and I'll tell you exactly the equipment that I'm using. Now, I don't claim that what I'm using is the best. I don't claim that it's the cheapest. All I'm saying is it's what I decided was going to be best for me based on the research that I did for my personal needs, based on the type of content that I wanted to create and the type of channel that I wanted to have. First, let's go over the 2 things that you're going to need regardless of which type of channel you choose to make. So what are we doing here? We are creating videos. So obviously you are going to need a video editor. Now, when it comes to video editors, you have a ton of options. Some are free. Some are paid, but they cost a little bit of money. Some are mid-range level of money, and some cost a very large amount of money. It all depends on your experience level or what you're trying to do. So for me, I looked at the free ones. The features that the free ones offered weren't really they weren't going to meet my expectations. I wanted to do more more features than the free video editors were offering. So I decided to go, I didn't want to spend a ton of money on a high-tier video editor, but I also wanted at least some sort of features that the free ones were not providing. So I tried to go the cheapest paid video editor that I could find that was also user-friendly to somebody who had absolutely zero experience in editing videos. And that ended up being a program called Filmora, made by a company called Wondershare. A Filmora license cost me $50. They let you try it for free. It's been working out great for me so far. I can already see that I'm going to outgrow it relatively soon though, because there's things that I want to do that it's just not capable of. Again, if you're just starting out and you want to learn and see if you like it, try one of the free ones. Why not? It's free, there's no risk, and if you hate it, no harm done. The second thing you're going to need, no matter which option or what type of channel you want, is probably going to be an external hard drive for backup and storing your creations. So video files are going to run, depending on the resolution that you use, anywhere between 3 to 5 gigs per hour. So I'm encoding in 60 frames a second, 1080p, so my videos sometimes can be up to 6 gigs per hour of content. That's going to eat up your computer's hard drive pretty fast, let alone that you don't want all your stuff stored on your internal hard drive, because if it crashes, all your work is gone, and that sucks. So for me personally, not only do I want an external hard drive to store my work on, I'm going to want a second external hard drive to back up my work as well. So if one hard drive fails, that's okay, I have a backup. A decent sized external hard drive, 2 terabytes around that neighborhood, is going to cost you about $90. Again, this is an optional expense. You can just use the own hard drive on your computer. But if you're like me and you're paranoid, you're not going to want to take the risk that stuff is either going to get lost or you're just going to fill up your hard drive super fast. So if you're keeping track so far, before you even decide what kind of channel you want, you're paying $50 for the license and at least $90 for a good external hard drive, if not $180 for 2 of them. But minimum, you are out of pocket for $140 right off the bat. So now that we've covered what you're going to need no matter what type of channel you choose, let's get into a little bit more detail about if you just want to make in front of your computer webcam videos like this, where all you do is show yourself and, let's say, some Octagon footage. First, you have to ask yourself what your needs are. Do you want to create the highest quality content that you can? Personally, I did, so that made my camera search relatively easy. I wanted something that could produce 1080p video at 60 frames a second, and as far as webcams go, there was really only one option, and that's the Logitech C920 webcam. It's not that expensive. I paid, I think, $70 for mine. I've seen it as cheap as $50 on Amazon, but I think the MSRP is as high as $130 sometimes. great piece of equipment. I mean, as you can see, the video quality here, pretty outstanding compared to what I was using before. I'm very happy with the types of videos that I'm getting out of it and the quality. But again, if you don't care about the quality and you just want something a little bit cheaper, you can get a cheap webcam for 10 bucks. It's not going to be super sharp or super crisp, but if all you're doing is recording a monologue or a preamble to an Octagon video, who cares? Now the next thing you're going to need, again, only if you're planning on being on camera or recording voiceovers for your Octagon games, is a microphone. So yes, the Logitech webcam and pretty much any webcam will also have a microphone automatically built into it, but the audio quality for that, if you want a high quality video series on YouTube, the audio is almost as important as the video. If you ask anybody, if you try to listen to really bad audio for a long period of time, it really starts to sound bad. So you're going to want to invest in an external microphone. Luckily, I did a lot of research on this topic, microphones are not that expensive. You can get a pretty high quality microphone for not too much money. So I found what's called the Blue Snowball microphone. I spent $55 on it, and the audio quality and the upgrade difference from the microphone and the webcam was outstanding. I also paid $5 to get a windscreen and try to show it to you here. It's one of these thingies here. So when you talk into the microphone, if you tend to say your P's very hard, it's not going to have like that popping sound in the microphone. Again, that is the Blue Snowball microphone, and I paid $55. All right, the next thing you're going to need is video capture software. What are we doing? We're creating videos from a camera. Again, as with video editing software, you have a ton of options, both free and paid. Luckily, there is an outstanding free video capture software out there called OBS. It is a free and open source video capture software. You can find it at obsproject.com, completely free, pretty amazing. They have two versions, OBS and OBS Studio, depending on the type of features you want. One is a little more minimal for newer, more novice users. The other one has a few more features if you want to do some inline editing. A great piece of software, captures at 1080p, and best of all, it's free, so you can't beat that. Once again, OBS and the cost, $0. Finally, the last thing you're going to need is lighting. So when you record videos, if you're recording at night, like I'm doing right now, the lighting's not going to be that great if you just turn on the lights in your apartment. And even in the daytime, if you're recording, maybe you have natural light in your apartment, but chances are it's going to be a little bit unbalanced. Like right now, over on there's a window that gets a lot of natural light, but when the light comes in here, what it does is it makes a lot of shadows over here, and it makes things look not so great. So luckily, for not a lot of money, you can get some tabletop photography lights. So that's what I did. So for $40, I got a pair of lights. I'm going to show you what it looks like now if I turn these lights off, and you can sort of see what I'm talking about. So without those lights, you can kind of see, looks a little yellowy. These lights have the benefit of making it a little softer, much whiter light. And the other thing is, I don't know if you can see, when I turned the lights off, the video quality went down, because there's not as much light getting into the aperture of the camera. So the better lit you are, and the more lighting and the better lighting you have, the better, crisper your video is going to look. So I'll turn them back on now. Ta-da! I never looked so handsome. So again, these are two StudioPRO lights I got on Amazon. I'll link it below, but there was $40 for the pair, free shipping with Amazon Prime. You can't beat it. So let's just do a quick summary recap for home recording in front of your computer. You're going to need a video editor. It's going to cost you about $50. A backup hard drive for storage. That's going to cost you about $90. A webcam cost you about $70. A mic and a windscreen combined, they'll cost you $60. $55 for the microphone, $5 for the windscreen, and a pair of lights for $40. That brings you to a total of $310, and you can create videos of the quality that I'm creating right now. All right, so now that we've talked about the types of equipment that you'll need if you just want to do home-based recordings, let's go into option 2. And that is, you want to go to a live tournament, capture live gameplay of people actually using physical cards. This is going to be a little bit more expensive and labor-intensive option, but again, I think the Jousting Contest video series speaks for itself as far as the quality. I think people enjoy watching live physical cards much better than they do enjoy watching Octagon matches. So let's go into a little bit more detail about the types of equipment you're going to need if you want to pursue this option. The first thing you're going to need is a camera and a tripod. When searching for a camera, I think especially for capturing live footage, The number one thing that you're going to want to make sure you get is a camera that can capture in at least 1080p, if not 4K. So what we're recording here are teeny tiny playing cards with even smaller text on these cards. So recording in something like 720p or lower is just really not going to cut it. People are going to get a headache after 10 or 15 minutes of watching your video. So you really want to splurge and at least get 1080p on a camera. The second thing you're going to want to look for is the ability to connect an external microphone to the camera. I don't know if you guys have been watching the jousting contest videos. I'm assuming you have if you're watching this video. I'm sure you heard all of the background noise that the camera picked up from the shop. The camera out of the box, there's not much you can do about that, but what you can do is connect an external shotgun microphone to the camera, and what that does is sort of focuses the audio that the camera is going to capture to just the two players playing the game. And I think that's going to make the viewing experience much more enjoyable for the people watching on YouTube. I have not personally invested in a shotgun mic yet because they cost almost as much as a camera. The one that I want right now is about $200. I'll probably end up buying it eventually, knowing me, because I have no impulse control. But as of right now, I have not purchased one yet. But I have a feeling the second that I do, and the first jousting contest video that I publish, you will immediately know the difference. But again, if you're just starting out and you want to get a camera, even if you're not going to buy a microphone right away, you want to make sure that at least you have the capability to plug that microphone into the camera when you do eventually buy one. So let's talk about the camera that I decided to go with. So after talking to Caesar, thank you Caesar, he recommended a Canon camera that was the R600. So when I went to investigate it, the R600 was $220, very reasonable price for a camera of that capabilities. But I noticed that the R700, which is the next newest model, had just come out. So for $60 or $70 more, I got the newer model. So here's what I got. This is the Canon R700. Let's see. I don't know if you can. There you go. Very small, tiny form factor camera. Got the viewfinder. Blah. You can go twisties. You can see it at all the different angles. Very functional. It's what I used to capture the games that you've been watching in the jousting contest so far. So this cost $299 on Amazon.com. Once again, free shipping. Not cheap, but I am not disappointed with it at all so far. The next thing you're going to need to get, luckily very cheap, is a tripod. Amazon offers plenty of options of their own branding tripods. I'll show you the one that I got right now. This is the Amazon Basics 60-inch tripod. See, they have it branded themselves. Can't ask for better than this. 20 bucks. There's really not much more to say. It's an amazing tripod. It does what it's supposed to do, which is be a tripod. So if you decide this is the route you want to go as far as content creation, but you either don't have or don't want to spend the kind of money on $300 on a camera, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Your phone probably has a better camera in it than you realize, and things like this exist. Now this is an adapter bracket mount to put your phone directly onto a tripod, and it costs less than $5. So it attaches to your phone like this. It's got a screw on the bottom, and you're going to screw this directly into the tripod. You'll be able to create relatively high quality videos directly from your phone using this method. It's not something I wanted to do personally because I wanted to be able to use my phone at a tournament, but also I can, for $20, get a second tripod and record 2 matches at once. It's not ideal, but again, if you want to go with a low budget option, your phone is gonna have an amazing camera on it, assuming you have an iPhone or one of the newer Android phones. So the next thing you're gonna need is a memory card. You're going to live tournaments, you're recording hours and hours and hours of footage. I know I had my camera running almost nonstop from 11 a.m. until nearly 7 p.m. That's 8 hours of recording HD video. That's going to eat up the internal memory of your camera 10 times over, probably. Most cameras come with a small amount of internal storage, but it's not going to be worth it for doing the types of recording that we're doing. So you're going to need to get something like this. This is a micro SD flash card, 128 gigs. This will be able to record somewhere around 30 to 40 hours of 1080p HD content. You might even want to get more than one of these. So for a single tournament, I'm pretty okay with just having one. But for something like Gen Con or a major convention where I'm not going to be able to go home and dump the card onto my computer, I'm going to get a second one, maybe even a third one, so that I can keep filling it up and filling it up so I don't run out of space while I'm at the convention. Again, so this is a 128 gig card, costs $44. I'm sure you can get a cheaper one. You can probably go to a 64 gig card if you want to save a little bit of money, but it's an absolute must as far as I'm concerned, because I don't know that an internal memory on a camera is going to have enough to record a single match, let alone an entire tournament. So along the same lines with getting another memory card, you're probably going to want to get a secondary backup battery. This is something that I hadn't thought of before I went to the tournament at Huzzah on Sunday. Lucky for me, there was some conveniently placed electrical outlets near the table, which still wasn't long enough for the short power cord of the camera to reach, but luckily they had an extension cord on site that I could use. But again, if you're recording 8, 10, 12 hours like you probably will at a tournament or convention, you're going to want a backup battery, if not two. Luckily, they're not too expensive. A backup battery for this camera is about $30. Let's take a second and go over what we've talked about so far just to wrap up. To go for this option of video creation, you're going to need a video editor. That's going to run you $50. A backup hard drive, that's going to run you about $90. The camera is going to cost you $300. Tripod, $20. Spare battery, $30. Memory card, $45. External mic, which again is optional, about $200. So you're talking a total without the microphone, $535. With the microphone, $735. So just doing some quick math, what I have spent so far for all of this equipment for a channel where I'm doing both home recordings and live recordings, I've spent $845 on equipment to date. And once I buy the microphone to attach to the external camera, it'll be $1,045. Now, I wish somebody hadn't asked me to do this video because I really didn't want to know how much I had spent so far, and that was pretty frightening when I saw that. But to be honest, I love you guys so much and I'm having so much fun doing this. I really don't care. It's just money. You can't take it with you when you die. So the last thing I wanted to talk about tonight is the state of the channel and what you can expect to see here over the coming weeks and months. I'm planning on attending several tournaments in the coming weeks. I'm going to put a schedule of the tournaments that I'm planning on attending at the end of the video so you can stick around and see that. Each tournament, I'm going to try to record at least one game from each round of Swiss, as well as hopefully the entire cut and finals. So I imagine I'll get between 5 to 7 games from each tournament. So that'll be on a Saturday or a Sunday, and what I'll try to do is release one match per day in the week following the tournament. So you can expect to see a lot of jousting contest episodes coming out in the near future. In addition to that, I have several other videos in various stages of production. I don't want to estimate a release date for those because the jousting contest videos are taking up a lot of time. Even though they're not too difficult to do, at this point I've sort of gotten into a routine. There's just going to be a lot of them in quantity, and I want to make sure that I spend the time on each of the episodes to make sure they don't come across as chintzy or feel flimsy. So I want to make sure they have the high quality that you guys come to expect from me in this channel. But because of that, these other videos are going to take a hit. They're going to come out a little bit slower. But again, I think you guys have spoken loud and clear that you would rather have me take the time and put the effort in. You can see the production value in the videos rather than me just knocking them out as fast as I possibly can. I'm definitely planning on doing Hand's Judgment reviews for the new chapter pack, as well as Hand's Judgment reviews for the start box that's coming out. So for the CPs, I was going to do one episode per card, but that seemed like a little bit overkill. Probably the videos would be 30 seconds long. So instead what I'm going to do is one episode per house. So that'll be 8 episodes, one for each house. As well as an additional episode probably for plots and neutrals, so 9 episodes per chapter pack. And for the deluxe boxes, again, if there's 60 or 120 cards in there, it would be ridiculous to do a Hand's Judgment episode for each card. It would be so short, and I think I would be flooding your guys' timeline. What I decided to do is I'm going to do one episode per card type. So we'll have an episode for characters, we'll have an episode for locations, an episode for attachments and plots, etc., etc., and we'll see how that goes. And that is pretty much it. That's all I had for you guys today. I don't know how long this video is going to end up being after I edit it down. I just sat here for 2 hours recording, and I'm about to go on Beyond the Wall in 12 minutes. So again, stick around. Right now I'm going to show you the upcoming tournament schedule that I have planned, as well as the upcoming release schedule for the other types of videos I'm hoping to come out. And again, thanks for watching, guys. I can't thank you enough. I love you all, and I will see you next time on AMC. Excuse me. Thirdly, I need to thank the other two guys that are the brains behind this operation, and that's Adam Serbone and Britt Fitch. Cat is going berserk. Once again, that is Manhattan, Complete Strategist, April 30th. Be there or fuck you. Don't be a shithead. Come to the fucking tournament.